Hey Grand Adventurers, welcome back for another episode. I'm your host Mark Guido, and today's a huge travel day. We're driving from the Eastern Sierra of California all the way through to Salt Lake City. We'll be spending the night in Ely, and hope you'll come along for the ride. Stick around. So what you're seeing in your picture-in-picture is pretty much what I'm seeing from behind the wheel today for 5 hours. Scenery doesn't change much. It's desert. It's lonely roads. We're on US 6, heading from the Sierra to Ely, and we're kind of paralleling and running south of US 50, which is noted as America's loneliest road. Well, I hope they counted cars, because I can't imagine how this road didn't win. I stopped and filled up in Tonopah, put as much, squeezed every last drop as I could into the tank, because from there it's 168 miles to Ely, and there are no gas stations in between the two. Usually I get about 165 miles out of a tank when towing, so it's going to be awfully close. I did top off the 5-gallon jerry can that I used for the generator, so I do have that in case I run a little short. So I'm really not expecting any run out of gas on the side of the road kind of situations here, but that'll give you an idea just how remote this is. 168 miles between gas stations. If you're from back east, or if you're from overseas, or some other more populous place, probably have a hard time wrapping your head around the fact that you can't find gas for 168 miles. But there's nothing out here, and I'm also kind of regretting that I didn't hit up the Burger King in Tonopah while I was there either. Just pulled over the side of the road and grabbed a few sundries out of the fridge. Try and tide myself over till I get there. We're going to be casino docking tonight. It's just a place to park for the night before we finish the remaining 3 or 4 hours to Salt Lake in the morning. There's the Hotel Nevada Casino in Ely, which allows free overnight RV parking. So come along for the ride. We'll see what we can see along the way. Well, as you can see, we made it to Ely. Did so with almost an eighth of a tank of gas too. I was kind of happy about that. Took it real easy on the accelerator and had a little bit of a tailwind through mostly flat roads, so it turned out to be a good thing. Made it here no problem on that tank of gas. The Hotel Nevada Casino parking lot, thank you very much to the Hotel Nevada Casino for letting us stay here last night. It's okay for a quick overnight. It's nice and flat. It's RV/truck parking. We did have a couple of semis here last night, including this guy over here who had the reefer unit going all night, but didn't bother me. I slept right through it. So we're gonna get back and hit the road and head for Salt Lake City.
Besides the more intense wildfire smoke, here's one more reason why we're glad to be out of California, where we were paying $4.50 a gallon for gasoline in the Eastern Sierra, and even cost $5 per gallon in Lee Vining. The Nevada Northern Railway Museum is located at the East Ely Yards, which were designated a National Historic Landmark District in 2006. The site was cited as one of the best preserved early 20th century railroad yards in the nation, and a key component in the growth of the region's copper mining industry. It served passengers and freight until 1983, when the Kennecott Copper Company, its then owner, donated the yard to a local nonprofit for preservation. Museum visitors can explore the grounds, including the Renovation in Progress building, where 2 locomotives are being rebuilt, and the machine shop, where visitors can get hands-on with the tools.
So I've heard nothing but good things about that Nevada Northern Railroad Museum. Would have loved to have spent some time there today. Unfortunately, we don't have the time. Maybe save that for a future episode. Maybe combine it with Great Basin National Park. But the reason we don't have time is I've got an appointment to drop off the trailer in Salt Lake City. The rear stabilizer started working sporadically when we were in Virginia City. And by the time we got to the Eastern Sierra, the motor stopped working altogether. Nobody in the Carson City, Reno area was willing to take a look at it for me anytime sooner than a few weeks out. Needless to say, being on the road full-time this summer, that's not an option. Knowing that we were going back through Salt Lake City, I reached out and emailed my usual RV repair guy, Kyle at Straightline RV in Murray, Utah. And he said, I'll make the time. Would love to help you out. So, once again, Kyle, I love you, man. We're going to drop the trailer for a couple of days in Salt Lake City and let Kyle get that straightened out so I don't have to keep cranking that rear stabilizer manually for the rest of this trip. So we've got about 3.5 hours of more of the same old today. Almost identical driving to what we had yesterday, just wide open, barren desert. Our route will be taking us through Wendover, Nevada, or I should say West Wendover, Nevada, because Wendover is actually on the Utah side of the line. The line kind of splits the town. It's right on the edge of the Bonneville Salt Flats, west of the Great Salt Lake, so our travels will take us through the Salt Flats, past the Great Salt Lake, right on into Salt Lake City today. See what we might find along the road. Oh, and by the way, I mentioned it was equally desolate. This first stretch from Ely up toward Wendover, 129 miles between gas pumps.
If anyone needs a new purple roadster, there's one for sale in tiny McGill, Nevada. Located along the Utah state line, West Wendover, Nevada serves as a nearby gambling fix for residents of Salt Lake City, where gambling is illegal.
Now, if this looks familiar, we're back out on the Bonneville Salt Flats, which we covered in one of the very early episodes of Grand Adventure last fall. If you missed that episode, I'll put a link right up here on the screen and you can go check it out. But unlike last time when we were here in, it was like October or November, when the winter water is on the salt is rock hard now. Actually got the rig out on the Salt Flats. I'm not going to go do a speed test, that's for sure. But we're going to continue on to Salt Lake. So we're back here at home in Utah for a few days while Kyle figures out what's wrong with our rear stabilizer. When you next join us on Grand Adventure, we're going to be heading east to Colorado. So to make sure you come along, become one of our Grand Adventurers if you're not yet one already, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up down below. We'd love to get your feedback in the comments section. And until next time, when we head east to Colorado, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you soon.